Y'all feel that? Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, the Caldwell Collective featuring the saxman himself, Don Caldwell. On the drums there, soon-to-be West Texas Walk of Famer Steve Metter, who, that's right, that song they played was called Harlem Nocturne, and Steve introduced Don to that song many years ago, so full circle moment. Great way to start our evening. Folks, this is our first West Texas Walk of Fame ceremony in the Civic Center without Don Caldwell, who we lost back in May, a giant of the Lubbock entertainment scene. And so we thought there was no better way to start our evening together than to remember him. Dustin Garrett, who you heard on the guitar there, pointed out earlier today that this is the same room that we said goodbye to Don just a few months ago. So it's nice to say hello to him again through his music this evening. And it's an important reminder that what we do here tonight really continues his vision and his legacy. He was deeply involved with the West Texas Walk of Fame, along with being a member himself. He planned and produced all of these ceremonies and always wanted to make sure that we were holding these artists up, not just to the city, but for the world to see, to put on a first-rate production every single year. And I think we're gonna have that tonight too. In fact, I know we will, because this ceremony is still a family affair, I'm happy to say. It is produced by Caldwell Entertainment. Cammie Caldwell is backstage right now, along with Katie Sandifer. Heard Toby Caldwell playing with the band as well, and Terry's out there somewhere. So this evening is still being produced by Caldwell Entertainment. And Cammie and Katie, you're backstage. Don would be so proud of the work that you've done to get tonight ready. I've worked a lot of years with Don on this presentation, and I can tell you that what you're about to see tonight is something that he would be very pleased with indeed, except for that. Sorry, had to call you out. Folks, we are so glad that you're here. I know that Don would be so pleased, and he's going to be looking down on us throughout the evening, I'm sure. But I also know that by this point, he would say, hey, you know, James, we got to get the show rolling, man. You know, we got a schedule to keep now. We don't want to let this last all night. So, with that said, please welcome to the stage our West Texas Walk of Fame 2024 inductees and their presenters. We have a great night ahead of you. My name is James Epler. I am the chairman of the West Texas Walk of Fame Committee and a member of the Civic Lubbock Board of Directors. My day job, I am with Good Day Lubbock on Fox 34 weekday mornings and KCBD News Channel 11. I am a company man. This isn't about me, this is about our inductees this evening, and we are so excited to be able to honor a great group. Civic Lubbock, Inc. is behind this presentation this evening. The West Texas Walk of Fame is something that Civic Lubbock Board oversees, and we do have some board members with us here tonight. I just want to recognize our Civic Lubbock Board, our president, Jim Douglas, Grace Gonzalez, Christy Cage, Kathy Horkey-Wolf, Beverly Macbeth, Lindley Herring, Roger Carr, Emily Wilkinson, Sammy Prather, and Betsy Bass on stage tonight. Some other guests in attendance we want to recognize. Some members of our City Council are joining us this evening. If you're with City Council, if you want to raise your hand or stand up, thank you so much for being here this evening. Got a few right over here. And we also have some members of the West Texas Walk of Fame in the audience. If you're in the Walk of Fame, please let us recognize you as well. I believe you're out there. There we go. Thank you so much for being here, folks. We'd like to thank again Caldwell Entertainment for producing this. Also, Visit Lubbock, Advanced Graphic, and the City of Lubbock. This is a big production to put on. Neil and Vicky and Lisa, all with the City of Lubbock, have done so much work behind the scenes with our team to make sure this is a special evening, not just for our inductees, but for you in the audience this evening. To kick us off, I would like to welcome to the stage our Mayor Pro Tem, Christy Martinez Garcia, to get our evening started.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're doing great and that you're having a wonderful evening. Of course, I can't see you, but I know that you're there, and we are glad that you are. I am Mayor Pro Tem Christy Martinez Garcia, and it's my privilege to welcome you all to the 2024 West Texas Walk of Fame induction ceremony. Thank you. Yay, one, that's right. Woohoo! Before we begin, I just want to say how grateful I am to live in a community that recognizes and supports the arts. I work with lots of creatives in my profession, and my brother, Joey Martinez, an artist, and has done some incredible murals around our city and all over the world. And I am an ally to the arts community, and I will always support you. So thank you for that. I want to say a special thank you to the Civic Lubbock Board and staff for hosting this historic event tonight. This would not be possible without your passion and dedication. I know you have spent countless hours working on this behind the scenes, and we appreciate you all very much. I also want to extend my most sincere congratulations to this year's Walk of Fame inductees. Members of the West Texas Walk of Fame truly represent the best of the best. And tonight's inductees will forever have their names etched amongst the most talented individuals in our community. Inductees are joining a long list of outstanding men and women who have made West Texas and the nation's performing and visual arts what it is today, inspiring and influential. Thank you. And these artists are definitely trailblazers in their field, and I have no doubt that their work will continue to be admired and will influence others for many years to come. They deserve to be appreciated and remembered for their talent. And having supported the arts community my entire life, I literally come from an arts family. I can certainly attest to the outstanding talent that is cultivated in this area. It is remarkable what can be accomplished when our artists are free to create, grow, and inspire our community, and we've seen it for so many years. Now, to tonight's inductees, thank you again for being a shining light of excellence for this region and showing the nation and the world the amazing things we have to offer right here in Lubbock, Texas, right? And tonight we honor Gerald Dalter, a singer, educator, and producer, my friend Tina Fuentes, a painter, Steve Metter, not that they're not my friends, okay, they're all my friends, but Tina's a role model. Steve Metter, who has been a stage and studio musician, as well as the very talented James Watkins, a ceramic artist. Now, this is a special night as we have the honor of recognizing these talented individuals and the importance of our hometown talent. It's homegrown, it's creative, and it is genius. And to the council members that are here, thank you for being here. I want you to recognize the importance of the arts in our community. And again, thank you all for being here tonight. I look forward to celebrating our region's finest with you all, and I look forward to being a continued advocate. Thank you again, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem, for your leadership on that. Let me give you just a little bit of a history lesson here. It won't be long, but for those of you who may not have been to one of these before, the West Texas Walk of Fame goes back actually to the 70s when Jerry Coleman, Larry Corbin, and Waylon Jennings and others wanted to find a way to honor Buddy Holly and his legacy in his hometown. And from that came the Buddy Holly statue by Grant Speed that you now see standing proudly at 19th and Crickets Avenue. Now, they also dreamed of a way to honor the so many more impressively talented men and women from our area who've gone on to have a huge impact in arts and culture and entertainment. So today, we are adding these 4 inductees into the Walk of Fame. Again, they are James Watkins, Gerald Dolter, Tina Fuentes, and Steve Metter. So let's get started, shall we? To introduce Mr. Watkins, I'd like to welcome Miss Emily Wilkinson to the stage.
Thank you. I'm honored to introduce the amazing James Watkins. James Watkins has worked with clay for more than 4 decades and is known internationally, especially for his giant double-walled vessels, which I hope you all got to see outside. These vessels reflect the cast iron cauldrons from his childhood in Alabama, where his job was to keep the fire burning under the cast iron pot, where heavy seasonal laundry was washing, and where his mother and grandmother made souse meat, hominy, and cracklins for the family. He has built, in a word, an extraordinary career as an educator and ceramicist. His work is recognized around the world in major collections such as the White House Collection of American Craft, the Smithsonian, the Clinton Presidential Library and Museum, the Houston Museum of Fine Arts, the Shirakai Institute of Ceramic Studies in Japan, the Everson Museum in Syracuse, the Eiteljorg Museum in Indianapolis, and many other public and private collections. And I have to add, he also has several pieces right here in Lubbock with the Texas Tech Public Art Collection, both at TTU and HSC. His work has been widely exhibited in more than 235 solo and group exhibitions. Quoting James, as a ceramic artist, the most important lesson that I've learned is that the fire has the potential to do things that are unexpected. The results can be beyond your own sensibilities. I've learned to be open to discovery and serendipity. His work continues to evolve, the mark of a true artist. He has published articles in prestigious ceramic journals, both national and international, and written books on his life and work. James was a senior Fulbright scholar in Vietnam, received the Texas Master Award in 2019, and was named the 2023 Texas State 3D Visual Artist by the Texas Commission on the Arts. He is a Paul Whitfield Horn Professor Emeritus at Texas Tech University, where he taught in the School of Architecture for more than 40 years. And now, this internationally acclaimed artist is an inductee in the West Texas Walk of Fame, right here in Lubbock, Texas, a town that he has chosen to call home. Let's give a big hand to James Watkins.
Thank you. Thank you. One little correction. I taught in the College of Architecture for 35 years. And this all started when I moved to Lubbock in 1977. I drove into Lubbock on Christmas Eve, right after a major dust storm. And I'd never seen a dust storm before. And I thought that it was really amazing. I pulled over my 1969 VW bus, and I had this huge afro. And it was bigger than my butt. And this is testament to the fact that all things change, right? But I thought that the dust was really amazing. I got out, I touched it, and when I got settled, I started collecting the dust and started experimenting with it to create glazes and slips, and I started using it on my pottery. And on some of the pots that you see out there, I'm using that dust. And I've taken my work nationally and internationally, and I've taken a little bit of Lubbock all around the world. And and I've talked up Lubbock, okay? So I really appreciate this award, and I thank you very much. Thank you. I forgot the major thing here.
You got to let me give it to you. I'm going to read the proclamation. Lubbock and the West Texas area are rich in heritage and contributions from many gifted people in the fields of art, music, and entertainment. The Board of Directors of Civic Lubbock, Inc. takes pride in honoring James Watkins as one of these outstanding contributors and pays tribute to the individual and the great talent exhibited. West Texas Walk of Fame, inducted 2024. Congratulations. Next up, it is my pleasure to introduce Betsy Bass to talk about Gerald Dolter.
Join me on a journey. It's a beautiful night in Lubbock, Texas. The sun has just set. The temperature has dropped. You hear the leaves rustling in the wind. You can feel the cool breeze on your face. You feel excited and inspired. You call your friend, Yvonne Rocks. Yvonne, you've got to come out here to McKenzie Park. I have something I need to show you. Okay, I'm here. What did you want to show me? Do you see it? The singers, the actors, the stage. Yes, I see it. I see the dancers and a big production. I see people bringing picnic suppers and enjoying the live music and the entertainment. You have just joined the heart and mind and seen behind the eyes of Gerald Dolter. It is my pleasure to tell you a little bit more about Gerald. He was born in Iowa, educated in Indiana. At the age of 28, he won the audition for the regional Met in Los Angeles and went to Germany and sang all over Germany, sometimes not even knowing what role he was going to sing until 10 minutes before he was going to have to sing. Gerald came to Texas Tech in 1994 and took over the opera program from John Gillis and was at Texas Tech for 30 years. While at Texas Tech, he encouraged, inspired, and mentored many students who went on to have their own careers in opera, musical theater, and music education. Jerry represents many of our West Texas values: faith, family, and fortitude. Jerry has a deep and abiding faith in God, who has guided his steps. Family. He believes in being a great provider for his family, and in fact, he and his wife Karen have moved to San Marcos to help their daughter Lydia and help raise their new granddaughter Elle. At Lubbock Moonlight Musicals, Jerry has emphasized family-friendly entertainment and fortitude. As we all know, Lubbock sometimes is not the easiest place to live, but when faced with a challenge, just like many of you, Jerry does not give up and he does not give in. Gerald has entertained people at sporting events, in churches, at clubs, in opera houses and musical theater venues all over the world. He's known nationally and internationally, and maybe, if we're lucky enough tonight, he might thrill us with that rich baritone voice of his. Thank you.
This move's a little difficult. Okay. Wow. Okay, I need to take a deep breath. First of all, I come out on the stage tonight and I see my brother from Iowa and his beautiful wife. Jeff, you're really good at keeping a secret. Boy, I had no idea. There are a lot of people that I need to thank for this. First of all, I'm supremely honored to be going on that walk of fame. But there are a lot of other people that should be on there with me, and I feel like I'm taking them with me there. I have so many people to thank, people that have inspired me at Texas Tech and in the city of Lubbock. Moonlight Musicals. Moonlight Musicals would not exist without the assistance of hundreds of people. But I would like to single out the people who are the most dear to me. And first of all, I'm going to start with my youngest child. He's not a child anymore. Corey is working the lights up there in the booth for us tonight. It's really something to have your son at your side for a lot of these events. My daughter Lydia is in San Marcos. She couldn't join us tonight. It's a little difficult to get around with a 3-month-old, but she's got a lot of Texas Tech outfits to wear, and we will be bringing her back here occasionally. It's very important for Karen and I to be there. And that brings me to the final person that I would like to thank tonight. Karen's been with me from the start. To say that it's unusual, to say that she's inspiring, words just don't do it. We first met when we auditioned for church jobs together in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know if any of you knew that. Karen is a native of Phoenix, and we met there. We auditioned for our church jobs the very same day. And we were invited to come to services that Sunday. And then next Wednesday, we showed up for choir rehearsal together. And this goddess showed up, sat down in the middle of the soprano section. She was wearing a yellow sunsuit. And all of us in the bass section were elbowing each other, saying, who's going to be the first to date her? And I won, of course. I remember having won the regional Met auditions in Los Angeles and having to drive back to Phoenix, and Karen drove me the whole way to get home. We went to Germany together. We had our kids there. We came to Lubbock and only planned on spending two years here, maximum. Look what it's turned into. And I've had opportunities to go other places too, but no place was like Lubbock to do what you needed to do for your life as an artist and so on. We've been married 40 years now. This past summer, we were moving and celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary. So if you want to know what makes Gerald Dolter tick, what gives him his inspiration, why has he become what he's become, it's primarily her. And with that, I hope I can make it through this. The first role that I sang in Lubbock was on this stage. I don't know if any of you in here remember Gordon McMillan? Remember Gordon used to produce, rest his soul, he used to produce those big musicals in here? And he called me up on the phone and said, Gerald, you're new at Texas Tech. Hey, I have a role for you. How would you like to do Emile DeBeck in South Pacific? And I said, Gordon, I'd love to. I've never done it. So that was really my introduction to the Lubbock arts community, performance-wise, was here on this stage. And I would like to reprise a little bit of it here for you tonight. And with Johnny Verbeeten's help, here he comes. Johnny, thank you very much. So I hope you enjoy.
One dream in my heart, one love to be living for, one love to be living for. This merely was mine, one girl for my dream, one partner in paradise. This promise of paradise, this nearly was mine. Close to my heart she came, only to fly away, only to fly as day flies from moonlight. I'm alone, still dreaming of paradise, still saying that paradise once nearly was mine. Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger, you may see a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow you'll know even then, that somewhere you'll see her again and again. Some enchanted evening, someone may be laughing, you may hear her laughing across a crowded room, and night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of her laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell you why? Fools give you reasons, wise men never try. Some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you feel her call you across a crowded room, then fly to her side and and make her your own, or through your life you may dream all alone. Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go.
Boy, what a treat. Thank you so much, Gerald.
That was hard to do. I'm tearing up.
You made it look so effortless. Lubbock and the West Texas area are rich in heritage and contributions from many gifted people in the fields of art and music and entertainment. The Board of Directors of Civic Lubbock, Inc. takes pride in honoring you, Gerald Dolter, as one of these outstanding contributors and pays tribute to the individual and the great talent exhibited. West Texas Walk of Fame inducted 2024. Honor. And also, thank you to Johnny Verbeeten, not only playing piano, but unveiling tonight. And he's being paid the same for both. So, just want to make sure we have that clear. Our next inductee this evening is Tina Fuentes, and to introduce her, I'd like to welcome Deborah Milosevic to the stage.
Thank you. Tina Fuentes is a visual artist and educator. Her contribution to the art world and the cultural community of West Texas has been thoughtful and generous. Tina was born in San Angelo, Texas, and raised in Odessa. She earned her BFA and her MFA degrees at North Texas State University in Denton, where she trained in painting, drawing, and printmaking. Throughout her academic career, she has taught art courses both in Texas and New Mexico, eventually ending up in Lubbock. For 33 years, she served as a professor of art at Texas Tech University, where she mentored countless students. She also served as the director within the School of Art. Within the Lubbock community, Tina found herself offering her time to the Lubbock Arts Alliance and helped in the opening of the Buddy Holly Center. Tina was also a co-creator of Dia de los Muertos, which is coming up pretty soon. I greatly admire and appreciate the huge contribution Tina has made to her students, for her leadership role at Texas Tech and our community. But what I admire the most about Tina Fuentes is that she is a true artist. Fuentes describes her work as non-objective or abstract, but also as biographies and self-portraits. Her work has been shaped by her cultural heritage, her gender, religion, and personal experiences with racial discrimination. As a professional artist, she had numerous one-woman, group, museum, and gallery exhibitions throughout the United States, China, Argentina, Japan, and Mexico. Her work has been published in numerous books, catalogs, articles, and art publications such as Art in America, Art Space, Contemporary Chicano and Chicana Art, and Art of West Texas Women. She has received several awards throughout her artistic career. KTXT TV assisted her in the production of El Arte de Tina Fuentes, a program that was aired across the country by other PBS stations. Also, she and atmospheric science Dr. Eric Bruning received a National Science Foundation grant for a science and art collaboration that they had proposed. And she is in the permanent collection of the Smithsonian Latina Center, and she has been honored as one of Lubbock's Women of Excellence. Presently, she continues to serve on the panel for the Texas Tech University 1% for Public Arts program. She continues to show her work at Exhibit 208 Gallery in Albuquerque and Baker Shore Fine Art Gallery in Midland. She continues to maintain an art studio here in Lubbock. Today's recognition is a testament to the accomplishments of the artist Tina Fuentes, and it is my great honor to introduce my friend, Tina Fuentes.
Wow, thank you, Deborah. And how do I follow, this lineup that we have here, other than, I'm sorry, I'm nervous. Well, let me start out with how I first got here to Lubbock, Texas. It was 1986. I got a phone call from a professor by the name of Terry Morrow. Yeah, Terry. A lot of people know Terry. And he calls me up and says, I'd like you to apply for this job that we have. And I said, well, I'm not interested. I'm teaching here at UNM. I like Albuquerque. He says, well, give it a try. And okay. So I submitted the paperwork, everything was needed. And he called me up. He says, come on in. Let's talk to you. Give a presentation. Yeah, okay, sure. I came in. I was very comfortable because I was employed. I had a job. So I wasn't looking. And so anyway, one thing led to another, and finally we started negotiating. And I started getting nervous. I said, oh dear, this man's serious. And so anyway, finally after about 10 days negotiating, because I wouldn't say yes, I'd say, well, blah, 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 blah. And he'd call me back up, Tina? No, I'm not sure. So finally, last call, he said, and I'm just going to phrase it just the way he did. Now, Tina, what's it going to take to get you down here to Texas Tech? And I was like, oh my God. It took me years to lose that accent. And I'm going back. I finally said, okay, Terry. So I came in, I thought I'd be here 3 years. And as some of us know, 30 some odd years later, here I am. Lubbock was good to me, has been good to me. So is Texas Tech. It gave me an opportunity that I never thought I would have. But I'm so sorry. I thought I had it all together. But anyway, it's been good. It's been fabulous, and I've been able to make some wonderful connections here through, again, the assistance through Texas Tech. I was able to travel all over, whether I went to Italy, whether I went to China, whether I went to Japan, Mexico, several times. And I was able to do because of my research, because I love what I do. I love to paint. And I love to share, and I love to share stories about that. So it's been really, really a wonderful journey. And it's amazing to me how First of all, here I am. I was able to do something that I love and I'm so passionate about. You know, I love to paint. And there I was getting paid for it. And I was like, wow, what a wonderful opportunity I've had. I love my job and I love to paint. And what else do I need other than, you know, the wonderful moral support that I've had from my family, my friends that are here. And if I'm not mistaken, my mamacita's over there. She's 95 years old. Love you, Mama. So through my family that's here, that's joined me to celebrate and help me to calm down and receive this honor that I have, and also through friends like Deborah Milosevic. When I first got here, I thought it was just really intriguing that there was someone here by the name of Milosevic. And the reason I say that is because when I was at Odessa getting my junior college degree, Paul Milosevic was my teacher. So when I got over here, I thought, what a coincidence. And the other aspect to this story is that when I was in Albuquerque, I would go to this one gallery, Mariposa Gallery, that was down in the middle of the downtown, Old Town Albuquerque. And I'd go into Mariposa and I earmarked this one piece of artwork, and it was called The Prairie Bride. And I went every month to go see if Prairie Bride was still there, because I said, one of these days when I have enough money, I'm going to buy it. Well, the artist was Deborah Milosevic. And so what happened with this story is one year, and you know, every month I was there, and I went over there to Mariposa one day, and the gallery dealer, she says, Tina, she's gone. That Prairie Bride's gone. And I went, oh, what happened? She said, well, the artist took it. And I went, okay. Well, you know, several years went by, and then I end up here. And someone said, you know, you really need to know some artists here in this community, and one of those artists is Deborah Milosevic. I said, I want to meet her. I want to meet Deborah. And so we ended up connecting, and the first thing I said to her, do you have Prairie Bride? And guess what? She had it. And Deborah says, well, do you have this kind of paintings that I like that I've seen you work on? I said, yeah, I got it. So we went to the parking lot. We opened up the tailgates and we started changing art. So there we were in Texas Tech exchanging artwork at the parking lot. So those are the kind of wonderful stories that I've had in my life, that I've had throughout my life, and it's been wonderful. My journey has been just miraculous, and you know, for someone to give me a plaque and say, yeah, you did a good job, girl. I'm very honored, and I'm very humbled, and I thank you all for being here and supporting, and most of all, thank you, Don. Thank you, Don Caldwell, for making all this possible. Thank you.
Congratulations, Tina. Lubbock and the West Texas area are rich in heritage and contributions from many gifted people in the fields of art, music, and entertainment. The Board of Directors of Civic Lubbock, Inc. takes pride in honoring Tina Fuentes as one of these outstanding contributors, pays tribute to the individual and the great talent exhibited. West Texas Walk of Fame inducted 2024. Congratulations. Our last inductee this evening is a guy named Steve Metter. Here to talk about his friend and bandmate, ladies and gentlemen, J. Boy Adams.
You know, you have quite a cheering crew out there. You know, to be in this room again this quickly after the last time Steve and I were here. We were sitting right down there, and I just can't let it go by to rewind and tell you this story as to why I'm here tonight. So, 10 years ago, in another room in this complex, our dear friend Don Caldwell inducted me, and he had been joking me for months. He started calling me about 2 months before the induction and said, "Did you get your mail? Have you read your mail?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm out of town." Then he would call me back a week and say, "Did you get your mail?" And this went on for almost a month. And finally one day, my son called me, and Zenobia and Trixie and Josh and I were on our way to Lubbock to play at the Cactus Theater. And my son called and said, "You know, I checked the mail today, and you got a letter from Civic Lubbock." And I said, "Well, I don't know why they would be contacting me. Would you open it and read it to me?" And of course, it was my notice. It was much more pleasant than my draft notice in 1968, I'll tell you that. And of course, I called Don, and it was just, amazing, and it was just a wonderful thing, and it's a great feeling, isn't it? So Steve and I discussed this whole thing, and we were just praying and keeping our fingers crossed that our old buddy was going to make it and be in my place tonight. And of course he didn't, and that's why I'm here tonight. And I feel honored by it. I feel like if there was anyone that deserved to be here with my friend tonight, under the circumstances, it was me, and I'm grateful for that. And I want to thank Kerry Banks for his part that he played in this. So I want to tell you something about Steve. I've got these notes here. I asked him for a few things, and he sent it to me in very small font. I noticed that a couple of the folks that were up here reading tonight have a little itty-bitty font they were using, and I just don't see how they do it. I don't believe they read it. I think they memorized it. But I broke it down, and I want to say that the years went on and on and on, and when I finally joined up with Steve to be the drummer in this band, we covered a lot of ground about why did this not happen earlier? Why did this not happen earlier? Because what I've learned from this guy is the music is secondary to him. The thing that's most important to me that I admire in him is the fact that he's a family man, and his cheering crowd is a testament to that. Along with the fact that a man couldn't wish for a better friend than Steve Metter. He was born in 1952, and I'm not a substantial amount older than him, but from this point on, I really didn't realize that he's going to have to refer to me as sir. Over in Slayton, Texas, where he joined up in the 6th grade with Don Caldwell. Can you imagine being in that classroom? God help us. The teachers, I don't see how he got through. They got through that. His family and all of their belongings were blown away by a tornado in 1957. He was 5 years old. That's just unbelievable. He was a marching band snare player in the 6th grade. Of course, in Wilson, they had to go all the way back to grade school to have a marching band. And they managed to do that. He's on the other team, ladies and gentlemen. He is not a Red Raider. He's a Longhorn. He eased down to Austin, probably in the dead of night, and he didn't come through Lubbock to do so because, it probably would have been some kind of trouble. He played with various bands down there, and he that's where he learned about multi-track studios, because that was his first studio he played in. That was only the beginning. He did a lot of session work down there. He joined up with a band, a jazz band called Passenger. And, you know, they were somebody. You know, I called him one day and said, "Hey, were you a founding member of Passenger?" And there was a long silence. He said, "Are you kidding me?" It's just because I didn't listen to jazz and somebody told me he was in the band. And I just wanted to share that with him. They, one of their buddies, band members, eased out to California. They decided that's where they needed to go to seek their fame and fortune. And that's true at the time. Austin was not the capital of live music at that point, which really, I think, if Lubbock was a little bit larger, we would be the capital of live music myself. That's the way I feel about it. But a guy named James Polk went out there and he got himself a gig being the musical director of Ray Charles. And he could coerce the rest of the boys to come out, which they did. They followed him out there and they got him a gig at this jazz club, a legendary club, he says. I'd never heard of it myself, but it was called the Lighthouse. I was more dialed into the Troubadour and the Roxy, you know, where, you know, that you could dance to that music. Yeah, I know you did. I know you did. I know you did. Well, somehow or other, this is really where things really got rolling for him. His buddy Roscoe Beck, who is a very admired bass player, got involved with Leonard Cohen somehow or other, and of course he brought the Passenger Band along with it, and that's where it started. And so for the next many, many years, this guy toured with Leonard Cohen. And then he decided he better come back to Texas, and then when he did, he really struck gold, because he was playing with this punk kid that I met when he was about 14 years old, and I thought there should be a law against someone playing the guitar the way Eric Johnson could play it at that point. He gets Steve Metters as drummer. And the next thing you know, this curly-headed girl that started writing these hit records when she was about 14 from Manhattan decided she wanted to come to Austin and see what the big hoopla was about. And who did she run into? I mean, this is the luckiest thing. I don't understand how this could have happened, but this is where he should have been a gambler, because he and Eric hooked up with one and only Carole King. How about that? He toured all over the world, both of these folks, mainly Leonard. He played the Tonight Show 4 or 5 times. He was on Austin City Limits more times than that. I mean, just a lucky guy. He's just so lucky. It just happened. And of course, that drum kit had a little something to do with it. But the thing to me that was the most important move he made happened to be in 1976 when he married his dear wife, Mary. And, you know, it's easy for me to remember her name. I didn't have to look at this because that's my wife's name. Who at my induction, I called her Martha, and why I did, I don't know. I mean, that's her middle name. That's her middle name. So I got to tell you that with me, I wanted him to play Wipeout tonight, and he refused to do it. His friendship and his family dedication is what's important to me. Then he's a drummer. That's the number 3 on my list. He loves his family, every one of you. I always wanted him to play in my band, but you know, he was too far away. He's with me now. I want to introduce my friend, family man, and a so-called drummer, my friend Steve Metter, to the Walk of Fame. Here he is.
Well, he just said pretty much everything I wanted to say. First of all, I'd like to thank Civic Lubbock for even starting to have this occasion. I think it's a vital part of the Lubbock's art community, and it has fostered a lot of very talented people. They don't really have anything like this in Austin. They don't have a statue. Well, they have a statue of Stevie Ray Vaughan, I guess. But I really do want to say thank you so much for Civic Lubbock, especially Neil Ray. Neil was the guy that called me and told me where to be when and what to do how and all that just basic stuff. And I know we've mentioned Carrie Banks before, but I want to say a personal thank you. Carrie was an old friend of mine who really got the ball rolling for me with the committee here. And if it probably wasn't for his enthusiasm, I wouldn't be standing up here. Thank you. An old friend of mine, Andy Wilkinson, is also someone I want to mention, and his beautiful daughter, Emily. Andy and I grew up together thinking we were related, but we weren't really. Our mothers were just best friends. So I've known Andy for a long time, and he's very successful. Appreciate your help. Want to really thank my high school band director, Coy Cook, and my first piano teacher, which is Francis Wright. My Aunt Charlene Davis, who was the choir director at Slayton High School. All of these people in my early life were really influential on me picking up the piano, picking up the drums, learning how to do all this stuff, and really setting my teeth to get into the music business. I'd like to thank my wife, Kathy, all my children, all my grandchildren are all here tonight. And it really does make a difference that you have a vibrant family life and loving relatives. Did I mention my wife, Kathy? Don Caldwell and I go back a long way. We both grew up in Slayton. My uncle's band used to rehearse in the front bedroom of my grandmother's house after church on Sundays, and Don would come and play saxophone in that band. And I was maybe in the 4th or 5th grade. And he's another person that I grew up thinking I was related to, but there's nobody old enough to remember how that happened, so I don't have any evidence. But we grew up thinking we were. And I've played hundreds of jobs with Don, watched his kids grow up, Toby and Todd and Cammie. They were all friends with my kids because we all went to school in Slayton. But Don is really a force of nature to be remembered in this community. So I want to say a big thank you to Terry Sue, and my sympathies to Don, for sure. I played at the Cactus for a long time when it first opened, and I learned a lot of good stuff. So again, thank you to the Caldwell family. I'd like to close with a little short quote by Butch Hancock, who's another West Texas boy. He's a cowboy poet of sorts. He's played with Joe Ely and some other people. But I'll read from this quote now. It says, "Lubbock is a funny little place. It was considerably isolated. You had to drive hundreds of miles to get anywhere else. And you had the unchartable skies and the horizon that goes all around you. You could see the whole horizon. I call it a different kind of hang time. You get an idea, and you can hang with the idea for a while. So in the cities and the mountains, things are constantly changing, and you're confronted with a lot of different impressions. But when you're out there on the track in West Texas, you can sit there, contemplate about bugs crawling around, and that and this without interruptions. Thank you, Butch. Thank you all.
Four for four, y'all trying to walk off without your... Let me read this for you, sir. Lubbock and the West Texas area are rich in heritage and contributions from many gifted people in the fields of art, music, and entertainment. The Board of Directors of Civic Lubbock, Inc. takes pride in honoring Steve Metter as one of these outstanding contributors and pays tribute to the individual and the great talent exhibited. West Texas Walk of Fame inducted 2024. So, you boys feel like playing one, maybe? You want to do one? All right, let's have one. I'm going to let them get set up here real quick. And by the way, this right here that you're about to hear is kind of a free taste. If you like what you hear tonight, J-Boy Adams and the Friends are going to be playing at the Cactus Theater on Saturday night. It should be a great show, so if you're not busy, if you want to hear some great music, go check them out on Saturday night. Now, speaking of music, and I'll just tell you this while they're getting set up, as y'all were pulling in tonight, did you happen to notice a different band that was set up? They were outside. They're different colors. It's a sculpture. They're called the Friendly Cowboy String Band. You see those guys standing out there? So maybe you saw them individually around the city recently. Well, we got them together, just like Oasis. And they're reunited, and we are cutting the ribbon. Civic Lubbock is cutting the ribbon on that sculpture tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Artist B.C. Gilbert is going to be here, and we're going to celebrate that addition to the downtown area. We think it is a great addition. Drove my son by it just the other day, and he just was like, "Oh, how cool! How cool is that?" That's what we're about. We celebrate the arts. So join us for that ribbon cutting tomorrow afternoon. And then First Friday Art Trail is after that. So definitely go support that as well. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, J-Boy Adams and the Friends.
I pulled into Nazareth, I was feeling about half past dead. I just needed a place where I could lay my head. I said, "Hey mister, can you tell me where a man might find a bed?" He just smiled and he shook my hand, and no was all he said. Take a look